I'm fine. Most men have said it today. Most of them weren't. There's something you're carrying right now that you haven't said out loud to anyone. This video is about why that is, and what it's actually costing you. It's not just the phrase. It's the way you keep working when you're running on nothing. It's canceling plans because you have no energy and telling people something came up. It's lying awake at 2 a.m., turning something over in your head that you haven't said out loud to a single person. It's noticing, at some point, that the heaviness you've been carrying has been there for 3 weeks, and then deciding that's just how things are now. A 2019 study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that men seek mental health support at roughly half the rate of women, even when experiencing the same level of reported distress. The behavior is documented. What the study doesn't explain, what the numbers never explain, is the mechanism. Why does a man who is clearly not fine still reach for "I'm fine" as a default? That's the part worth understanding. It doesn't start in adulthood. For most men, there's something earlier. A moment, or a pattern of moments, where showing something real produced a result they didn't want. Maybe someone laughed. Maybe a parent went quiet in a way that landed as disappointment. Or the reaction was nothing at all. No words, just a silence that somehow said more than words would have. The lesson, absorbed long before it was ever stated, some emotions cost you something. Psychologists call this emotional socialization. Boys learn early which feelings are acceptable and which ones come with a price. Anger tends to be fine. Fear, sadness, uncertainty, those get managed away, redirected, buried. Over enough time, the brain stops treating this as suppression and starts treating it as just how you operate. It doesn't feel like avoidance. It feels like control. Dr. Ronald Levant, former president of the American Psychological Association, spent years researching what he called normative male alexithymia, difficulty identifying and describing your own emotional states in real time. His finding wasn't that men lack emotions. It was that many men have a genuinely limited vocabulary for accessing them as they happen. The feelings are there. The language isn't. Which means that when someone asks how you're doing and you say, "I'm fine," the honest version of events is sometimes worse than lying. You actually don't know what the alternative would be. Men die by suicide at nearly 4 times the rate of women in the United States. In most other developed countries, the ratio is similar, between 3:1 and 4:1. The gap isn't explained by men having objectively harder circumstances. Research points towards something more specific. Men are far less likely to have processed distress before it reaches a critical point. A 2021 meta-analysis in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that chronic emotional suppression, the habit of inhibiting emotional expression over time, links to worse cardiovascular outcomes, impaired immune function, and significantly higher rates of depression. The body keeps score on the things the mind won't acknowledge. There's also a social cost that gets less attention. Psychologist Niobe Way, who spent 2 decades interviewing adolescent boys and then tracking them into adulthood, found something she didn't expect. Most men had lost their close friendships by their mid-20s, the friendships they'd described in adolescence as essential, as the place where they could actually talk, and they often couldn't explain why. Part of why is this. Closeness requires some degree of disclosure. You can only stay genuinely close to people you're somewhat honest with. If "I'm fine" is the only gear available, relationships stay at a surface level, even long ones, even ones you'd describe as important. When a man says "I'm fine" and doesn't mean it, there are usually a few things running at once. The first is assessment. Before the words are out, there's a rapid calculation. Is this person going to understand? Do I have the energy to explain this right now? Is this going to make things worse? That calculation happens fast, faster than conscious thought, and the default answer, for most men most of the time, is probably not. The second is something that doesn't get named often enough. It's protection, not of yourself, of the other person. Men who suppress distress frequently report doing it, partly because they don't want to burden people they care about. There's something real in that impulse, a genuine care for others. But over years, it becomes a way of staying invisible to the people who are closest to you. The people who, if you ask them, would say they wish you'd say something. The third is identity. Saying "I'm not fine" feels, for a lot of men, like changing a story they've been telling about themselves for a long time. The one who handles things. The one who doesn't make it about himself. Saying something different, even for 5 minutes, feels like losing something, even if that something is just a performance that costs you every day. None of this is irrational. Every part of this pattern makes complete sense given how it developed. That's actually the point. The problem isn't that men are broken. It's that a logical adaptation to a specific environment, one where vulnerability came with a price, keeps running long after the environment has changed. The alarm stays on even when there's nothing to protect against. Most advice on this subject either goes too vague, open up more, or asks men to behave in ways that are so foreign to how they actually work that the advice is useless on arrival. Research on what genuinely helps points to a few things. Context matters more than most people assume. Men tend to access and share emotional content more easily in side-by-side situations than face-to-face ones. Driving somewhere, doing something physical, walking. The direct eye contact of a structured emotional conversation tends to produce exactly what you'd expect: walls. An activity creates enough room that the emotional content becomes less exposed. This isn't a trick. It's just how a lot of men are actually wired. Naming is different from expressing. You don't have to say something to anyone to get some benefit from identifying what's there. Psychologist James Pennebaker spent decades studying what happened when people wrote privately about difficult experiences, not for sharing, not for processing with anyone, just writing. Even that minimal act showed measurable reductions in stress hormones, improved immune markers, and better sleep over time. You don't have to tell anyone. You just have to stop pretending you don't know what's there. The last one is simple and most men won't believe it. The bar you've set is too high. Men often wait until they have something clear and articulate and already half resolved before they'll say anything. Real emotional experience isn't clear. It doesn't arrive with an explanation. You don't have to have figured it out. "I've been off lately and I don't know why" is a complete sentence. It's enough. It's actually a lot. If you've stayed with this video, something in here probably landed somewhere. Maybe it was the calculation, the rapid math before "I'm fine." Maybe it was the 2 a.m. thing or the friendship research. Something landed. You don't need to do anything with that right now. But the recognition itself is something. For a long time, a lot of men didn't have language for what this pattern even was. Just a vague sense of carrying something, and of being, in some way, they couldn't quite name, alone with it. "I'm fine" kept things moving. It also kept things the same.